Alright, I was gonna try to avoid talking about this. Really, I wasn't. I thought about making this video the other day. I just got my camera though, so I was like, this would be a good first video now that we got the camera going. But I need to actually, I was gonna put this on my computer, but my monitor is way too fucking high. So like, in the time being, this will be the spot it's at. But yeah, I guess we're just gonna do some reactions and shit. But let's look at this shit real quick. This is kind of out there.
Although I'm not sure exactly what they're gonna argue about, but
I have some fun. I have something to say.
Oh, are we gonna ambush? But guys, it's been...
Oh my god.
Damn. See, and you know what's fucked up about that, man? Our boy Danny Mullen tried to save the day. He tried to do the right thing and cut him off, and they just stopped him midway. You know, that's fucked up. Danny Mullen's a real one.
It's not about him. This is about me.
I have a feeling that this will soon be about him.
Oh.
I'm gonna be hearing a lot about this.
And people, this was Sludge
Tell him
Lords.
to fucking take it up with me.
Danny Mullins is a real one. He's still trying to end the podcast while they're ahead.
I don't give a fuck.
I would like to say the same, but it seems like I'm worried about people calling me a bad friend for just not editing this and putting it out. They're gonna be mad at me, but I'm just...
He's just gonna be... well, how about this?
They're gonna be mad at me, but I need them clicks, so I'm always keep it going. See, that's kind of fucked up. He knows it's a shitty move to do. He knows where this conversation's going. It's something just, this is gonna go really bad. But you know what he does? He just lets it keep going. Danny Mullins was the only person in this video on the right.
If he's mad, if you're mad at him, I think I'm mad at you because you're being a bad friend to me by acting weird and shady, acting like you didn't do some shit that you did do, and you know you did.
I've been friends with him for like, and I just don't want to be like.
See,
and that's the truth.
Well,
no one cares.
But should I tell him? Should I give him a little warning? This is coming. It feels kind of weird to not tell him.
Yeah, maybe your friend. Yeah, be like she totally spilled your beans.
If you want to, I have.
But you better tell. You also should. You better let him know. I fucking pulled up with fucking security, and I don't play.
Yeah.
Security's gonna have a turn with you too.
Actually, no, he can't.
Has he already?
Oh my god.
But
damn, look at that face right there. That's a man that's trying to do the right thing, but he can't because he's on the fucking boat, and there's no way he can get off the boat. He really looks like he is on the boat. That's kind of fucking wild. I don't know what up with that fit, but kind of goes hard, kind of not. I don't know. It's kind of a fire fit. Looks like something little Yachty would rock. You know what I'm saying?
Everybody, this has been
Thanks, guys.
This has been an episode of Sludge Lords, and I think it's been a great one. And Gracie, Jane, you've been lovely, and I hope you have any positive feeling toward us still after this.
Y'all are cool. Thank you for the platform. TS Gracie Jane on Instagram and TikTok. Gracie's Fantasy with one Y on Twitter. Onlyfans.com/thegraciejane.
And I will have you know, you are the first woman to ever appear on this podcast.
First.
Well, thank you.
Well, about that.
And given...
I'm not surprised because you guys are...
incels. Given the extent to which biological women suck, I'm glad that we went trans before we went in some other direction.
Yeah, I think you should stop generalizing women, by the way, because...
Well, they suck.
That's... They can't drive, and they need to cook me a casserole and make me...
So, I guess this is a little bit, like, everybody was saying, like, it was house phone and shit, but, like, I don't know, it doesn't seem like... I mean, it just seems like Danny Mullen was trying to save him from, you know, getting exposed, but everyone else was kind of throwing him over the edge, you know what I'm saying? But I guess Adam 22 is the only reason that fucking anyone figured that shit out, because I mean, he just kept being like, oh, you know, I've been good friends with him for a long years, and like people are just kind of like, oh yeah, good friends of the show for a couple of years. It's got to be house phone, you know what I'm saying? So where is I don't want the DJ academics. Here we go. This right here is fire.
Man.
But yeah, he's kind of a bad friend, low key, for that one.
And let me go ahead and just speak on this, man. First of all, it's 2023, my nigga.
Money Stack Piggy Bank available next week.
Cool. Can I?
Yeah.
Can you not do that?
Homie knew it was gonna go viral. He knew it was gonna get on the clip channel, so he had to just shout out his fucking new merch drop. But yeah, while we're at it, shout out Play Asia, shout out Scentbird. You already know what the fuck it is. But just go buy shit off PlayAsia. That's like my only sponsor nowadays. I guess I'm fucked, right? Oh yeah, Creepy Code too. They got some cool shit, and then Entertainment Earth.
Yeah,
I'm gonna drop those links.
My nigga, it's 2023, bro. No matter what motherfuckers decide to do with their lives, which is nothing wrong with, by the way. I feel like my nigga being like outed or exposed or whatever the fuck by like my home team, by people that I work with, that I see every week, bro. I'm really like, that shit's been bothering me, bro. I'm really not gonna lie to you. And
Adam 22 is a bad friend, for real. There's no other way that we can put it. Look at that face right there. That's the face of a man that has lost his friends, his dignity and pride. I love House Phone, and like I think bullying House Phone's great for the No Jumper channel, but there's a line, and like they just jumped over that shit. Like they jumped over that line.
Yeah, bro. I'm not gonna sit here and lie. I'm not gonna sit here and say, but I'm also not gonna sit here and like claim like everything. But just know.
I love how he's like, I'm not gonna claim everything. Like something happened. We don't know what happened, but something happened.
I ain't never touched a dick. I ain't never sucked no dick. I ain't never got fucked in the ass. And I'll leave it there. All right. All
right. So let's just leave. You heard what he listed off. You know, he ain't been jerking no meat, touching no meat, slurping no meat. Now, with that being said, he never said he didn't get top from a trans person, like, or a trans chick. Like, I think he got some trap talk, and we ain't talking about Rich the Kid, okay? You know. But that's wild. Either way, this is wild that, like, House Phone, this shit had to fucking blow out of proportion, and he had to fucking defend himself. And I'm praying for House Phone. He's going through it right now. Adam 22's got my boy fucked up.
No, niggas got a little experimental at one point in life.
Oh, shit.
I'm gonna be honest. Yeah, I'm gonna be completely honest.
There's no niggas got being honest.
Niggas got a little.
Oh God.
Freaky deaky in life before. I'm gonna be honest with you, but
did he titty bang?
I mean, it is what it is, bro. I just don't understand what was the point of like trying to like maliciously, like
make content out of it.
Make content out of like some shit that could be had actually been really like detrimental to my life, my career, my relationship, all that other shit, bro.
Yeah, see, this is what I think too. I think bullying House Phone is all fine and dandy. It's nothing but tough love. But like Adam 22 throwing our boy this far under the bridge was pretty fucked. Like this is something that like, you know, like he could be people have off themselves for shit like this, and like Adam 22 just kind of fucking let it happen. Now, Danny Mullins, he's a real one. He was like, you know what, I'm about to save our boy House Phone, but Adam 22 wasn't letting him save him. Shit's all fucked up.
Yeah. And it's like you can't expose me about some shit that I don't give a fuck about, because at the end of the day, I'm not running from nothing. I'm not hiding from nothing. I just think that is weird the way that shit played out.
And if he should just hit it like, and if that tranny girl want to pull up and catch a fade, it's on site. He ain't running. My boy gonna throw them hands. He might slap that bitch once or twice real quick just to let him know it's real. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Do y'all agree or what?
I mean, for sure. I mean,
to be honest, I didn't know what happened until earlier this morning. I had to call this nigga Yuri. I was like, bro, what the fuck is going on?
I mean, I saw the group chat blow up. Really, you feel me? And then
that's like, one thing too, is that I asked Adam before, like the shit even came out, to not even speak on it. Like I was, I was trying to avoid having to have this conversation publicly, because at the end of the day, bro, no matter if it's true, no matter if it was true or not, the way that they like used me and used my likeness and used like a sensitive subject like about me as a way to get some views on a weak ass show that got like 20,000 views, that shit was whack as fuck, bro. and they could act like, oh, well, we tried to edit it out or we edited it out, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, sure, okay, you edited it out, but then you left in a clip at the end where the nigga said my name. So it's like, what was the purpose of even editing it out?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. When I seen the clip, it was kind of, it was really crazy. I was like, damn, why the fuck they doing that? Like, that's not, because that's like, that shit is not funny.
And look, bro, at the end of the day, bro, it's nothing wrong with like, if that's your thing, or if you are gay, or if you into whatever, bro. That got nothing to do with me. That got nothing to do with that got nothing to do with everybody else.
That guy, they just call him that guy. If that's like the best slick diss, that guy.
As far as like people's personal lives, bro, off camera, it's like everything is not a fucking joke, bro.
Yeah.
Everything is
that
not
one
like when when I have to sit there and explain to like my partner this shit, or I gotta like like I gotta basically talk about some shit that I wasn't ever planning on speaking about publicly ever. Yeah. And now I gotta sit here and just be 1,000 with y'all because it's the only way to be. It's the only way to be, bro, for real.
And like, that's the quickest way to dismiss.
You don't have to be 1,000. You could be 300.
It's like any further like content about it. It's like, if you want to be sloppy and say all this other shit about like, oh, what the fuck, like denying it. It's just gonna keep egging on, bro. Yeah. So like, but at the end of the day, it's like, none of that shit should really be like.
But it was put
out like that.
It was just the way. Like, it was the way that it was done. That it was.
Damn, it cut off right there. Was that all he had to say? Just the way it was done. Okay, so let's see. There was another one too. Now he okay, so now and then he responds about being a bad friend. All right,
Zoom is great to interact on a call, but when it comes to doing podcasts,
I gotta get
you
YouTube
have to be
Premium
using
back.
Riverside.
Please
what are you doing
if
you're not using?
Everybody knows why I'm here. Why I'm on the news today is because there's been a lot of stuff, a lot of narratives. Really,
26 minutes
on No Jumper, but there's been a lot of narratives put out there that I feel like are very, very disconnected. No pun intended from reality. And here comes Poetic Flacco.
Okay, so I'm not dealing with this. This is like 27 minutes. But in summary, yeah, because this is 27 minutes. I don't want to fucking be. Let's give him a second.
Flacco, can you pull up a chair and sort of like split the mic with Mikey, maybe?
We are recording, right? Okay, making sure OBS didn't screw me.
Normally, I put my socks on before I come in the office.
I know.
How your feet look, Flacco? Disgusting.
So I'm going to tell this tale from the beginning. So I'm at the AVN Awards, and I'm approached by a trans performer because she's friends with my friend Nicolette Shea, who I've interviewed previously, porn star, and she's got a little mob of trans performers around her, and we have a little exchange on camera, and it's kind of funny, whatever, and we reacted to it, or I
can't look at Lush the same. Ever since I found out like he wore a collar, I just ain't be able to look at that motherfucker the same. And he's wearing a dog shirt. I don't know, man. This is fucking. My boy was on a leash, and now he's wearing a dog shirt.
Talked about it on Sledge Lords, and there was an Instagram reel posted as a result, and the trans performer in particular, Gracie Jane, she came on in the comment section and started commenting, and she didn't take like full offense to it, but she wasn't 100% happy with, I guess, the way that we were joking around or whatever. And she said, and so me and Danny right away were like, oh, this could be really good content. We should have her on the podcast, right? So
how are you joking around?
Joking around with her?
Yeah, like what was she upset about?
Well, she said that she wanted to S my D. And I was basically, I can't even remember what we said on Sledge Lords that she like.
Boy, he just deflected. I think he was the one. I think he got some top too. I think, yeah, you know what? Honestly, I think that's the way to go about this. Is Adam 22 needs to get the top, so that way, House Phone has something over Adam 22.
Like took offense to it or whatever, but it was just like, whatever. We're like, let's
that's
have
the
her
only
on
way
the podcast.
that this
Now she dropped a comment on that Instagram thing that said, "Ask House Phone about me."
She dropped the referral. He said, "Not, Yo, check my references, G. Oh, hell no, man. Damn, son.
Ha 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 ha. Or some shit like that. And you'll remember, Lush, that I sent it to the group chat. Yep. And it was just like, what the fuck is this? And so House Phone just denied it right away. He's just like, what the hell? He acknowledged that he knew this person, but said, no, nothing like that. And I'm like, oh, okay, whatever.
Yeah, he was like, we made a song together, but that's it.
Right. Or, yeah, she was in the studio or whatever. And okay, so I take his word for it. Fine. And then we have them on the podcast, me, Danny Mullen, and Danny Mullen doesn't really even know about this. Doesn't even know about that comment that she left on the reel, I don't think. And we're having the conversation, and it becomes obvious pretty quickly that she's intent on continuing to talk about this House Phone thing on the podcast. Now,
okay, so right there, you should have known better. At that point, like, okay, like, you knew before you got her to the interview that she was going to be talking about that. Or she, he, however you want to fucking pronounce it. But either way, this is fucked up. They doing my boy House Phone hella dirty.
This was kind of weird for me, and I even let her know during the podcast, like, you know we're going to have to edit this stuff out, right? Like this is just weird. Like, I can't expose my fucking co-host on the podcast or whatever if he doesn't want this information out there. And you got to put yourself in the shoes of a trans person for a second and think about how they take that, because from their perspective,
who fucking cares how they take that? Like, you know what I mean? Like, who fucking cares? Like, you're not willing to do that, but like, you made DJ Academics edit out the part of, you know, your girl getting trained. You know what I mean? Like, at a certain point, like, hey, like, DJ Academics did you a solid and edited that shit out later on. But, like, yeah, you can't edit out something to fucking not put your boy on blast. That's kind of fucked, you know? And it's like, who checked that one anyways? Like, no one needed that Sledge Lords episode. Like, no one fucking cares about it. Like, you could have had way more better hosts and guests.
They are a woman, and nobody should be ashamed of spending time with them or whatever. And so she, like, pretty much immediately really takes offense to that and is really
Who fucking cares if she takes offense to it? That's the thing. That's the thing that bothers me. Like, who cares if she takes offense? You care more about her being offended at that than you offending your homie and fucking stabbing him in the back.
Stoked on the fact that I told her that we were going to edit it out, right? So we have a whole little huddle afterwards because there were a few of the different, like, editors and employees in the room at the time. So this is already going to be like a badly kept secret, most likely, because a bunch of different No Jumper employees are.
Yeah, you know, like a couple employees know about it versus your entire fucking YouTube Clips channel or your entire YouTube channel, your entire Twitter, your entire Reddit knowing about it. Like, there's a big fucking difference between those two.
In there. And so we talk about it afterwards, and me and House Phone talk about it. We get on the phone. And I do want to also clarify, because apparently it was said that people were laughing in the background of my conversation with him. 100% not true. I was in my office with the door closed. There might have been people making noise outside the office, because I do kind of remember this being like a loud, hectic day where there was a lot of stuff going on. But the idea that anybody was, like, laughing or making a joke about this or whatever is not the case. That was,
dude, plenty of people are making a joke about it. I'm making a joke about it right now. Like, everyone that follows No Jumper is making a joke about it. That's the issue that we're having here, is that people are going to not stop making a joke about it. Like, this is going to be something that's going to forever haunt House Phone. But even if, you know, even if he, you know, says, like, it doesn't bother him, I'm sure it bothers him. And at a certain point, you should have realized that it bothered him, and this was a fucked up thing to do. But
really not true. Anyway, I talked to House Phone, and I realized pretty quickly that he's really not feeling this coming out. And at this,
yeah. So not only does, like, he realize this person's definitely going to try to get on the show and talk about this. The second is afterwards, he talks to House Phone. House Phone lets him know, like, hey man, I really don't want this shit coming out. And then third, you go ahead and you just get fucking all that shit out, and you just go ahead and put it out. You know what I'm saying? You just go ahead and say, fuck it, I'm putting this shit out. That's what's wild to me. Like,
at this point, I'm kind of starting to sense like, oh, there must be some truth to this or whatever, because otherwise, why would he be so concerned about it?
It doesn't matter.
Pretty quickly,
like, if it's
talk
false
to the editing
or true.
team, and I have all the screenshots and prove this and everything, and I basically just tell them like, yo, this is this can't happen. I know it seemed kind of funny when we were talking about it and everything, but we got to edit it all out. And I feel like I made myself clear too that I didn't want to just like bleep the name, because there would be too many like identifying characteristics when I'm talking about how this is somebody that I've known for such a long time and yada yada. It would just be like, I didn't want to create this like guessing game of who we were talking about or anything like that.
Yeah, instead
so I said, let's just chop out the whole part where he got discussed. And that, honestly, if it was like an hour and a half long podcast, that might have been like 10 different moments in the podcast. Mikey, can you confirm that there was like a lot of, because you were taking notes of each different time that he got mentioned during it, because you anticipated that we were going to edit this out, right?
There was a moment that happened about 10 minutes in where basically me, Adam, and the other person that's on the podcast like were looked at each other and kind of like gave a visual cue about like, let's make sure to know all these things. So I took note of every time that his name was
even
mentioned.
Flacco, like look at him. He's rolling his eyes. He feels bad about the situation. This is Flacco's heartless, and even he's just kind of like, oh man, this is painful.
And at some point, Adam changes the subject, and the subject is gone. Lush can attest to this.
I saw the whole unedited clip.
So you are really tapped in, my friend. You're getting all the extras.
So basically, there was proof that, one, Adam didn't know that this was going to happen, that whoever was going to say
Adam knew all this was going to happen. Okay, like, that's the thing. This is the dumbest shit ever. Look at him. He's looking down. This is there's an Eagle song. It's like, you can't lie behind those lying eyes or some shit. I can't remember. You can't hide behind those lying eyes. That's look at these eyes right here. He's looking down. He's looking at that coffee cup trying to deflect. I'm telling you right now, like, if a cop was looking at him, he would know he's lying.
Also, every time his name was taken out, like, the name was said throughout the podcast, like, at random times, whatever.
Adam did try to steer the convo away from it, like, in his typical fashion, but the Gracie and Danny kept kind of...
Because from Danny's perspective, too, like, he doesn't even know that me and Housephone already had a conversation about this. He doesn't know how sensitive this is going to be. Also, he's white. He doesn't understand the fact that this is probably going to, like, be more of a thing for Housephone than it would be. If fucking Danny banged Gracie Jane, everybody would get over it in, like, 12 hours because nobody would be all that surprised, right?
He probably did.
Yeah.
He's a comedian, you know what I mean? It's like he doesn't understand those barriers. With his friends, all jokes go, basically.
Yeah. And he had no context leading up to this because he was hearing this for the first time. And to him, Housephone's just this fucking guy he knows. And he's not thinking that we're going to edit it out until I start saying we're going to edit this out, at which point she gets fucking super mad, too.
Well,
so in my head also, and I think I said this in one of the screenshots, but I'm like, knowing this can't be a simple situation, because if we don't put the podcast out, she's going to get so fucking mad that she can't even do this podcast without it being released, that I was like certain that she was going to expose it. Because
maybe if like the podcast actually consisted of something else besides her trying to expose your friend, like, well, maybe like she should actually have something worthwhile to talk about, you know? But maybe I guess she didn't, because that's why there's so much shit was edited out. I'm not going to watch it. I refuse to watch it. They just threw my boy
she had already exposed it on the fucking reel, even though, like, at that time, nobody really noticed. I didn't see any Reddit posts about it. It wasn't really a thing.
Yeah, because no one fucking follows her.
I was there. Like, I sit in on Sledgelord, so I can tell you, like, from the beginning, she came in with this kind of energy of, like, basically trying to stand up to Adam or show Adam up or something.
Yeah, which I understand your perspective where...
Yeah, and it's your show. How are you going to let someone show you up on your show? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what drives me nuts. It's like you're
saying that
You're in control.
And you can't be putting weird trans memes on your fucking story right now.
It's not a trans meme.
But I saw it, and I'm just saying, with the current context, everybody's going to think that you're poking the fucking bear.
I just saw You Ain't Hard Food post that apparently, what's it called? Men can have periods now. And I was like, oh, this is a shocker to me. I've been alive for, 20 years.
That's a wild ad.
In the current climate.
Okay.
Maybe.
Well,
Shouts to You Ain't Hard Food.
You Ain't Hard Food's hilarious.
No, everybody posted that though.
But like,
is there more to this? Because I think that was about it.
Like, I guess if you
I'm
were,
still at the
in her
verdict
shoes and
that
hooked up with some
Adam
dude,
completely
you probably feel
fucked
some
over
type
his
of way that he
boy.
doesn't want to take accountability that he did something with you. If something may have happened. But also, I feel like it is really weird and like shows your character to be like trying to out people, for no fucking reason, for clouds. Like, what is it for?
Let's remove the fact that she's trans for a second. Let's say it's a born woman. Even if that were the case, why are you going out of your way? Like, that's still not cool.
Exactly.
Like, this dude has a girlfriend. You know what I mean?
Imagine
like,
a girl did that, got on a podcast.
Yeah, this is dude. Lush is actually speaking facts right now.
You're like, dude, who are you? It's like, why are you even talking about?
Right, like
that's lame regardless.
And Housephone is a host on the channel, but to put in perspective, we had a girl on the Patreon the other day who said, do you want me to tell a bunch of stories about Drake? And I was like, no, that's fine. Yeah. Like, we've done enough of that. We already had Selena Powell. We already had the GOAT.
Yeah, and you would think after the Selena Powell shit, he would have learned his lesson. But here we are in 2023, a month into it, and he's already fucking exposed.
Like, in the business of exposing people for views at this point. We always turn it down. Maybe
except for this time, dude.
There might be some that might make that a
always turn it down
statement. But regardless, we had the conversation. I tell the whole editing team, and right now I would like to go to the first screenshot here. Okay,
let's read this. Yeah, we can try and edit it, laugh out loud. He's not stoked. Got it, I'll work on that. People comment acting like his house phone gets exposed at the end of the pod. There's a point where Danny says his name while Gracie is talking, and you can kind of sort of hear Danny say it.
The conversation. This is pretty soon after we filmed the Sledge Lords episode. Adam says, yeah, can we try and edit it? LOL, he's not stoked. Michael says, got it, I'll work on that. And then this is much later. This is after it gets released. So fast forward into the future. I say, people commenting, acting like House Phone got exposed at the end of the pod. Michael said there's a part where Danny says his name while Gracie is talking, and you can sort of hear Danny say it, and he sends me the timestamp. Let's go to the next one, Josh. Okay, on this one, so this is before it was released. I tell them, or I tell Bossa in this case.
Okay.
I feel like we got to cut like all of the shit about phone. Like, it's really funny, but I feel like we got to just chop anything where she's talking about whatever. Bossa
about
said,
banging my friend. Did he double down on it low key just by even showing these texts? This makes it look even worse. Yeah, for sure, agreed. We censored the audio every time his name came up, but it's still got the stories, which is kind of just untasteful because I feel like people are eventually going to figure it out. Yeah, I just want to cut off. How about you just cut the whole episode?
Yeah, for sure, dude. Agreed. I say, and then he says, we censored
the
audio every time his name came up, but it's still got the stories, which is kind of untasteful because I feel like people are going to figure it out eventually. I say, yeah, I just want to cut all of it.
Okay.
So this is my motivation for people who are putting out the narrative that I wanted to expose House Phone for views. I never would have thought that this was the kind of thing that would get a lot of views in the first place. I don't feel like it's getting a lot of views right now. It's the kind of thing that basically the only people who care about it are like super hardcore No Jumper fans that are going to watch anything that we fucking do anyway, right? Like the Blueface is an example of something that we might do for views, get this fucking crazy ass chick on the podcast. That makes sense. Mm-hmm. But when you're looking at this, you see that my intention was to cut all of it. So what were you going to say, Michael?
Yeah, so around this same time.
Or you could just not
go to my email. I emailed Bossa personally on my own saying that I watched over the clip. I think it's the other one. Yeah, it's this one right here. So I hit up Bossa. This is 1:11 a.m. the night after, the night after the Sledge Lords thing. I hit him up. I tell him, yo, man, the interview's about an hour, 30 minutes long. I can cut it down to 1:13, removing everything that has to do with House Phone. And I don't really want to say what was in there, but there's something about us going to a studio together, whatever. Right. All that stuff was gone because I really didn't want to put
especially
anything
since
about House Phone.
He's
out
not
there.
been feeling great lately.
House Phone's one of the closest homies I got here, one of the first people.
So
like,
he's already
even,
depressed.
Like, really,
dude.
really talk to me like that. So like,
and y'all did
I was
this to
going
him.
out of my way to like try my best
That's
to
insane.
get all this shit out. The next day, Adam hits me up, telling me the same thing, like basically saying this to me, like take everything out. And I'm like, yeah, I got it. We talk about shortening the clip, blah blah blah, and I go through the entire thing, like 2 times. One time the original time, second time when I do my second edit. And I do this thing. If you have Premiere, you know you can like outlay the text to hear, like to see like what they're saying, whatever.
Like the same thing as on those Instagram videos.
The same shit. That exact same. I do that to find every instance of House Phone's name, cut it all out, whatever.
That's a dope
the
feature.
Only
and
like this is my mistake, and like, you know, I mean, I know I'm gonna get a lot of shit online and whatever for fucking up. But my mistake was there is a moment where she is talking, and Danny says the name under his breath where like it's barely caught. It didn't get caught on the text thing. I didn't catch it. So that was basically the fuck up there.
It was like honest mistake.
And the thing about that too is that it's like, if my intention was to expose House Phone or put something out there about him, why, like, trust me, I was there for the whole conversation. If I wanted to leave in anything, if I thought that there was anything that was just so funny or such good content that we just had to leave it in, trust me, it was not that moment where Danny like said fucking House Phone's name under his breath. There were other parts of it that would, if I was going to have left something in that would have maybe, you know, put him being exposed in jeopardy or whatever, it would have been other parts. Trust me. Like, this was not.
Yeah, but the issue is like, you knew that person was only really trying to get on there to talk about
an intentional thing, and if I wanted to expose him,
like, it's not like it's like a necessary interview people were dying.
It was just the fact that with so many podcasts coming out, I don't have time to watch every single thing before it comes out, and unfortunately, this one just kind of slipped through the cracks. And
I think that a lot of people
look at
might have thought that.
Hold on a second. Look at this one. Kind of slipped through the cracks, and then he starts biting his lip. Every time you see him lying, he looks down at that sign. Like, every time you notice, like, if he lies, he starts looking at that coffee cup or that table.
Because he said, like, we need the views, House Phone. He said it like that, so that's maybe also sparked further speculation.
She said that?
No, Danny said that.
Danny said that to House Phone?
Yeah.
Danny, really?
No, I think he said it on the pod, didn't he?
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
On the pod.
He
right.
said, he's like, well, like, we need these views, House Phone.
Okay, but
I thought Danny was fine, but I just saw the part.
That's the part that got.
I'm not gonna watch the whole interview.
Yeah, and I think that, like, so I think it's important, Mikey, for you to point out that the reason why it didn't catch the House Phone is because she was talking at the same time.
She was talking.
So the content ID thing.
It only picked up whatever what she was saying. Yeah.
Damn,
so
Premiere
I like went back on the file, like went to that part, and the text.
You should be ashamed of yourself,
text-to-speech
Adobe.
thing was covered by whatever she was saying at the time.
Pricey,
it didn't pick up what Danny was saying because I'm sure if you've seen the clip, you can tell he whispers
it's terrible,
like, or like says it under his breath, like this, you know. So, I mean, it sucks because since it happened, I've just been like upset. One, upset about the House Phone. One, upset about like fucking up here, like in my job. You know, this is my job. Like, I'm supposed to be fixing this shit.
You're the editor, and you fucking failed, House Phone.
You know,
how's it feel?
All these narratives about fucking Adam knowing or planning this is just like, I don't know, ridiculous.
Appreciate that, but right here, let's just pull up this Danny Mullen conversation that I had on Tuesday too, just because I want to really, you know, just put into context of like what the internal conversations about this were like. So Danny says, shit is unbelievable. I still want to know who fucked who and if there was a condom. Obviously, Danny just still, you know, having fun with this because he doesn't really take it super serious. I say, House Phone seemed more nervous than angry, you know, but I can't expose someone who's been doing pods with me for 7 years. Thing is, she's going to be so offended by us editing it, I feel like she's still going to air him out anyway. He says, do you think bleeping his name is possible, or are we just going to full cut? And yeah, man, whatever, the rest of it is unrelated, but you know, just to put into context, like, this is the conversation I was having with Danny. So now you can see how I was talking about
Danny's laughing about it,
editors
but still
and with the co-host
wanting to get rid of it.
This is all that really, I guess, matters to me, is just like making it clear that I had no intention of giving House Phone a headache. I'm fully cognizant of the fact that he's been you know, I don't want to act like his whole life has just been hell or anything, but obviously dealing with the mom shit and like he's living on his own for the first time and he's got health shit and everything. I mean, he's the last person on the crew, on the staff that I would want to fucking give a hard time right now. So I just
yeah, right. You know, okay.
There's a certain part of me that just doesn't even feel like fucking.
This fucking brand was built on giving House Phone a hard time. Like, but at the same time, like most of the time he gives him a hard time. It's not like malicious. Okay, it's not really malicious that he gives him a hard time. But in this case, it is super fucking malicious that he gave him a hard time. You know, like this is pretty malicious.
Responding to this until like Tuesday or whatever, but I just wanted to actually put all this stuff out there because it's just, you know, the idea that I like have this fucking vendetta against House Phone or that I wanted to expose him for views is just, it's not true.
What was the like original reason she came on to the podcast to like debate about
to fucking
no, it wasn't supposed to be
expose
a debate. It was
House
supposed
Phone.
to be like a funny conversation because we had this weird TikTok exchange or whatever. It wasn't really supposed to be that serious. And I also want to say, I don't give a fuck what anyone in this office does sexually at all. Anyone could do anything that they fucking want, and it's not my business, and it's not something I'm trying to expose what anyone's into. And then also on top of that, I'm the only person that also has to deal with the fact that Gracie now hates me. And believe me, Gracie is like, you know, a relevant performer or whatever. So she's got a good amount of followers, people pay attention to her, whatever. She is now beyond furious with me about the way that all this played out. So, you know, really, I'm the one who has, like, pretty much everybody upset with me, and I haven't benefited from it in any way. It's not like this is, like, something where, oh, like, look at how Adam's just raking in money off this.
All right, haven't benefited in any way. Let's double check something real quick. 137,000. A little bit of a benefit if you ask me, but overall... Okay, so here's the thing. So she's mad at you, or it's mad at you. Let's just go ahead. We'll just say it for the time being, because there's too many he's. And then House Phone's mad at you. Your friends are mad at you for exposing House Phone. In the end, wouldn't it have just made more sense just to let that person become mad at you and just, you know, save face for your boy? You know what I mean? For getting faced. You know, I just think that would have been the right thing to do, but, you know, morally, my boy's life's a little complicated. I understand that.
Situation. No, it's just
like a young Walter White.
Annoyance and House Phone having to deal with a bunch of bullshit and me having to read a million fucking comments.
I can't believe she's upset.
I had nothing to gain from this.
Yeah. Well, two things. Do you feel like in retrospect you could have possibly been like, hey, let's just reshoot this later and then chalk that episode?
I think if it had been edited properly, then nobody would have ever known that there was anything in there about him. You know, it still could have been like over an hour's worth of content.
Hold on. Did y'all see that? Hold on. Just wait a second.
In retrospect, you could have possibly been like, hey, let's just reshoot this later and then chalk that episode?
I think if it had been edited properly, then nobody...
My boy, as soon as he heard that, he just kind of had to look away. He looked down to the left, and then he did the look straight down. So he feels that one a little bit.
Nobody would have ever known that there was anything
he just kind of had to take
in
that
there
out
about him. You know, it still could have been like over an hour's worth of content with all that stuff removed. Obviously, to be honest, that was probably the funniest and most noteworthy stuff, of course. But the rest of the conversation was still fucking fine. And, you know, honestly, the episode that's up right now, they could edit or they did edit it. But, I mean, that's exactly what it would have been like. And so, I don't know. I mean, part of me is like, oh, maybe I should have actually rewatched the whole thing just to make 100% sure because it was that serious.
Yeah.
But, I don't know.
And this is where I was kind of saying this yesterday. I didn't really know all the behind the scenes of Danny's perspective on things, of what he really knew about. And that's why during Disconnected yesterday, I was thinking, like, at the whole, you know, the end of this whole situation, I feel like the two people you could find at fault is, number one, her for even trying to do this to, you know, to someone. And then I thought it was kind of like, from my perspective, Danny bringing it up, but then as you're explaining, like he didn't really understand all that stuff, and he was trying, he's a comedian at the end of the day.
And what reason does Danny have to like want to fuck with house phone? Like, he doesn't have, like, Danny, I could tell, tries to be like pretty respectful of everybody at No Jumper because he realizes that he's the only like white non-hip hop guy here or whatever. So like I mean the idea that Danny wants to like get at house phone or whatever is just no.
I think he was just tone deaf more than anything, but
he definitely didn't realize it was going to be this much of a thing.
If you look at his content with him and his friends, like they don't have no boundaries like that.
I watched Danny Mullen's fucking filmer get his asshole fingered by Kazumi in front of me on the No Jumper couch. Really on this couch.
Oh my god,
great. That's outlandish.
And just to put it into perspective, he didn't really seem to think that was too big a deal. So
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So I think a lot of people.
Flacco hasn't said anything this whole episode, but just look at
where
his,
y'all at? Was there apologies? Are you guys chill? What's the deal?
I mean, we had a conversation last night that he kind of like seemed to think that was too big a deal. So
he's disgusting.
So I think a lot of people would want to know, like, how are you in house phone now? Where are y'all at? Was there apologies? Are you guys chill? What's the deal?
I mean, we had a conversation last night that he kind of like acknowledged that on Disconnected when he kind of like pushed that narrative of that, like, we did this on purpose to try to get him to make content or get more views or whatever, and he kind of like apologized for that. So I mean, whatever. But also, like, given that like I am the fucking Elon Musk of No Jumper, like anything that comes out I do have to take some element of the blame. And I, the same way that Elon, every single thing that gets posted on Twitter, he eventually somehow gets, faulted for it. So, I mean, I'm perfectly happy to let him fucking say something on Disconnected without me having to, get mad at him or whatever, just because I know that this was probably a fucking huge, unnecessary pain in the ass for him.
And he did a really good job, addressing the situation. Like, I was really...
I thought so, too.
Yeah, me too.
It's like one thing if House Phone was super transphobic and homophobic and was making a lot of just like
transphobic
remarks like that and trying to portray a certain image, but he's like the nicest dude at No Jumper, like least problematic.
Even that dog feels uncomfortable.
Super open-minded and chill. So for someone to go out of their way, regardless if it's a trans person, a gay person, or a straight woman, whatever, anyone trying to get at him like that is super out of pocket and doesn't really make sense. Like, I'm not exactly sure what Gracie
like, why did she think that was going to be a cool idea?
Exactly.
Especially like if it's cloud chasing, but like Adam said, she's super popular already. So like, why? What do you gain from doing this?
But the thing is that trans women think that there is nothing to be ashamed of and that there's no reason to hide this at all, and they get so offended by the idea that somebody would want to keep this shit a secret. And that's kind of like why like other people, famous people in LA I can think of who've been fucking exposed or
Eddie Murphy
done this, like the trans people are coming out of the fucking woodwork to talk about it because they just love to fucking acknowledge it, because they hate the fact that, and I can kind of attest to this, that dudes publicly will always say that they would never fuck a trans woman, and then in reality, I think like a pretty, not a majority or anything, but a nice chunk of men in reality are open to that, and they hate that. They hate that there's this thing involving them, that they're this secret fetish, and I think that's what she was trying to do, is like, oh, I'm gonna fucking expose this on here.
But I think she had the opposite effect. Now guys are more likely to, if they're in a room with a trans person, now they're going to be even more scared, like, oh, now everyone's really going to think we're doing something, we're not just friends or acquaintances.
Yeah, see, that's
like,
I agree with him so much on this one.
Throw other people under the bus like that. It's like
she weaponized that shit against House Phone.
All these transphobic things, saying it's immoral, he doesn't agree with the blah blah, and then he did that. Okay, she kind of has the right to be like, hey, it's kind of not right for you to be like putting me and my, my people in my community down while also taking advantage of it.
This is the man who wrote the Bro Top freestyle.
Right.
He's never done that.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
And she's like, I get it. She's like 6'6". She's like 2 inches shy of Scottie Pippen out here. Like, she's a fucking starting small forward.
You're next.
Like,
you're going to expose you.
No, like, I'm not even dissing. Like, the thing is, like I said earlier, it's got nothing
That's
to
good.
do
Adam 22 just kind of
with
threw
being
a nice
trans. Just I wouldn't want anyone, period,
exactly.
speaking on my dick like that. So I understand like this new the trend in the trans community of wanting to normalize that, which I totally understand. Like, people shouldn't be ashamed or forced to be ashamed about that, and it shouldn't be like some like taboo fetish. But just speaking on someone's dick like that, especially when they're in a relationship, that's out of pocket, period.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't even like when, like, even when there isn't this trans element in it in general, I just think it's kind of whack. Like, there's girls that are known enough that if I were to fucking say on camera, oh yeah, I fucked her back in the day, you guys would all be like, oh, that's fucking crazy, let's all talk about it, that girl has this many followers now or whatever. And I just think it's like kind of in bad taste. Like, we do it in the porn world, obviously, because it's a business and it's just,
and it's on blast. We see it.
But like, I mean, I could think of all kinds of shit from my dating life back in the day that I could put out there, and probably almost anybody could, right? You got some bodies that you could like name it, and everybody would be like, oh, that's crazy, Lush fucked her.
Well, like when I said the whole the Eskimo Brothers with Drake, if I said who it was, and
right,
people, you know what I mean, like, but that's scandalous to do. You don't want to embarrass people like that. Put them.
God, that would be embarrassing, dude. I would hate to be like an Eskimo brother with Lush. Like, if this dude could pipe down the chick I was piping down, I would almost just, that would be my feelings right there. I'd be feeling like, oh boy, here. I would just be looking at him just like in my life.
Mom blast.
Respect people's privacy. You know what I mean?
So in case it wasn't clear, House Phone, I apologize for any fucking grief that this caused you, for the fact
nice
that
apology.
any
It took
of this
26
became
minutes,
a thing in
counts.
general. I'm sorry. It's just, I don't even know what else to say.
Me and House Phone spoke yesterday too after disconnected.
I literally waited till the end to disconnect to facilitate that.
Yeah. And we're cool. Like, he understands my perspective. Like, I did my best to try and protect him. But I fucked up.
And I think one of the saddest things about this whole situation to me is Phone was alluding to the fact that he's not sure he wants to. He's like, I don't really know what my future on No Jumper is. And like, to me, like, I really hope that's not the case, and I hope that things get worked out, because Phone is, as important as anybody to this platform.
He was like the Robin at one
reason
point.
why it is what it is today. So I really hope that gets fixed.
So now that we have disproven this Adam 22 intentionally tried to expose House Phone narrative, you can all, every single person who said it in the Reddit or on social media, you can all post retractions, and I will just like not even acknowledge them or upvote them. I'll just let you do that.
Get live.
TurboTax. I'm not gonna do my taxes. How about that? But yeah, I think that's pretty interesting. I think he's guilty. I still think our boy's guilty, so yeah, with that in mind, I feel like they did House Phone pretty dirty. I'm glad he actually was like able to apologize, but yeah, he did our boy dirty. But yeah, let's see if there's anything else good. Oh yeah, I might talk about the M&Ms. That might be my next video. We might talk about the M&M saga. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, I was going to talk about this way before Penguins did, because I was already tweeting about that shit. So Penguins, you beat me to it. But yeah, I think that's it. Dude, I thought these were two tits for a second, but it's just a fat dude's belly and I think an arm. Like, you're gonna fucking throw off the censor. Oh yeah, we could talk about the whole GTA saga as well. But yeah, overall, I don't think I'm gonna do any more of the No Jumper clips for a second. That's good for now. But yeah, there's some other shit I'll talk about, but for now we'll just end it on this note. But yo, shout out J-List, shout out PlayAsia. Let's see what PlayAsia's got real quick. Let's check our sponsors. What do we got over here? The Year of the Bunny. Browse more games. What do we got over here? This kind of looks banging for $10. Oh, that's for Asia. Is that PC? Oh, Switch. No, man, that kind of looks alright. Looks like a turn-based game. Where's the deals? Man, they need to step up, play Asia. Y'all gotta have some good shit on special right now. I think that game turned out to be pretty shitty. Well, you know what? There's not really any good deals on the games right now, so why don't you just buy a Steam card? How about that? You can always just buy a Steam card. I can't believe they don't have anything like really good. Oh yeah, these bangs things, these are back. Cop one of those. Ah. But anyways, yeah, you go ahead and cop one of these Pikachu banks. These things are always fire. But yeah, shout out J-List. Actually, don't fuck J-List. Yo, shout out Play Asia. You already know what the fuck it is. Go buy one of these little Pokemon banks. And we'll keep it moving.